10 cologne fragrances that are so good, they should be illegal. Starting it off with Kismet Angel. This is a very accurate clone of Kayhaan's Angel Share. Kayhaan's Angel Share costs around 400 Australian dollars. This thing is just around 70 to 80 Australian dollars. And if you live in the US, it is as cheap as 40 to 50 dollars. It's boozy, it's sweet, it's got the vanilla, it's got the very heavy cinnamon element of Angel Share to it. To me, it smells around 85 to 90% similar to Angel Share. And in the air, your average Joe on the street is not going to tell a difference between this and Angel Share. I can guarantee you that. Kayhaan's Angel Share is quite a strong fragrance. It's around 8 to 9 hours longevity with moderate projection and strong projection in the first 2 hours. Kismet Angel is not a weak fragrance by any means, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't quite reach that same level of strength and power as Angel Share. I find that the sillage, the scent bubble, the projection, whatever you want to call it, is quite soft all the way through, and it only lasts around 6 to 7 hours on my skin. With Kayhaan's Angel Share, personally, I would do 3 to 4 sprays, probably 3 for a date night and 4 going out, maybe clubbing, partying. With Kismet Angel, I would do a minimum of 5 sprays, no matter the situation, if I want any chance of someone to smell me. If you want the most accurate clone of Angel Share possible, pick up Kismet Angel. Just don't expect a super strong fragrance. The next clone fragrance that is so unbelievably good, it should honestly be illegal to own it, is a fragrance that I don't even wear and I don't even like the smell of, but I have to include it because I know there's someone out there watching that has been looking for something like this, and that is Lattafah's Velvet Oud. It is a clone of essentially any Tom Ford leather fragrance. It's like fruity, smoky leather, similar to ombre leather or Tuscan leather. I'm not sure exactly which one it's a clone of, but if you like really punchy, dark, kind of rosy, earthy, leathery, masculine fragrances, and you only have around 20 US dollars, this thing is as close to a robbery as it gets. This has been sitting on my shelf for months now. I don't know if it's the maceration that's occurred, if it's my preferences changing, but this thing is smelling unbelievable on the tester strip. I might have to wear this on a night out to see if it grows on me even more. I've heard from reviews online that the longevity pushes 8 hours with strong projection. Personally, I haven't even worn it enough to know what the performance is like. But if you enjoy those Tom Ford leathery, heavy, masculine fragrances, this thing is a no-brainer. Just thank me later and buy this. The third clone on this list is a dupe of Initio's Oud for Greatness, and that is Afnan's Supremacy in Oud. Personally, if you guys know me, if you watch my videos, you know I'm not a big fan of oud heavy fragrances, but this is one that I often make an exception for, and I actually wear this thing a surprising amount. I think the reason I love this stuff so much is because most oud fragrances are extremely potent, but they also just don't have enough sweetness to them. I think because this is so sweet, because it has that really prominent floral saffron vibe to it, the oud is kind of offset and it makes it a lot more wearable. It reminds me of if you took Baccarat Rouge 540, added a very strong oud note, and made it a touch more masculine, and you would get Afnan's Supremacy in Oud. The performance is very strong, almost beast mode, I would say, 8 to 9 hours longevity, with very strong projection in the first 3 to 4 hours. If you're a kind of older guy, maybe in his late 20s, early 30s, that type of age range, and you really want to stand out with your fragrance, you want everyone to smell you, and you're a very confident guy, 3 to 4 sprays of this stuff would definitely do the job. In at the number 4 spot is from a clone house that you probably have never heard of unless you live in Australia, and that is Bujairami Perfumes. This one is called Amaretto, and it is a clone of Kilian's Apple Brandy. Apple Brandy is such an underrated niche fragrance. I think it is almost as good as Angel Share and really does deserve more love, hype, and attention. Personally though, I don't have the $400 to spend on it, but this thing gets it around 80% right and has its own little twist on it. This stuff smells so addictive. The candy, super strong apple note is gorgeous in this fragrance, and I actually find the performance on this dupe in particular is much better than Kilian's Apple Brandy. Bujairami now officially do ship internationally, so if you live in the UK, if you live in the US, you should be able to buy Bujairami Perfumes. They have hundreds and hundreds of clones of the most popular fragrances. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I have worked with them in the past. I have over 24 of their clones, and most of them are spot on. Also, they have these awesome pressurized atomizers, some of the best in the game. And honestly, the maceration on these is crazy. Like, when you buy them, they smell great, they last a long time. Give it 1 month, give it 2 months, they'll last twice as long, and smells slightly different, usually in a better way. I love this fragrance. Definitely check out Bujairami Perfumes. At the halfway mark, the number 5 spot marks Lattafah Khamrah, the best cologne fragrance of all time. If you're getting sick of me talking about Lattafah Khamrah by now, I totally understand. But I also don't care because it is just that good. It genuinely should be illegal that this is on the market right now for $40 and it smells this good and it lasts this long. Yes, it does smell like Kayhaan's Angel Share and it is considered a clone of Angel Share no matter what you say. However, it does definitely have its own little twist on it. It's more cinnamon heavy, the praline, the vanilla, everything about this fragrance is so well blended. It is the first clone fragrance that I tried months ago that made me realize why clone fragrances are so good for the vast majority of the community to save money. Because before this, every other clone that I tried, there was something off about it. It had maybe a little Arabian type of smell to it. The blend was a bit off. Maybe one note just stuck out way more than the others. But this thing smells so high quality. Honestly, if I was into fragrances, I never tried this before, and you told me this was Parfums de Marly's newest release, I would say that's 100% worth the $300, $400 price tag, and it is one of the best Parfums de Marly's ever created. I know that might sound crazy, but this stuff is so incredible. There is also a Lattafah Khamrah, which adds a coffee note. I'm still yet to try that one, but I need to get my hands on it. This stuff is honestly a 10 out of 10. How we can just go out and buy this, it should be illegal. I don't know. I don't know how Lattafah have done it, but it is just so good. In at the number 6 spot is Lattafah's Eternal Oud. It is a clone of one of my favorite fragrances of all time, and that is MFK's Grand Soir. Because I love Grand Soir so much, I'm extremely hypercritical of any clone that I try of it, and until this one, I never thought I'd be able to find a clone that gets even close to smelling like it, but this stuff gets it around 85 to 90% right, and Lattafah once again shows everyone why they are the king of clone fragrances. Lattafah Eternal Oud on the left side, and then I'm going to be spraying MFK Grand Soir on the right. Let's see if I can even tell a difference here. I will start with Eternal Oud. It's just beautiful. Amber, vanilla. Smells like Grand Soir. They literally, on these tester strips, smell the exact same. In the dry down, Grand Soir does last a little bit longer. The amber and vanilla, the whole, just the ingredients, they do smell a little bit more dense and high quality, but it is so close, guys. I mean, for 50, 60 bucks, Lattafah Eternal Oud, if you want to smell like a rich London millionaire, go buy it right now. In at number 7 is Kayhaan's Classic. Who is Kayhaan? I don't know. This is from the brand Al Watanya. I was sent this as PR. They literally just emailed me and were like, do you want to try our fragrances? I was like, yeah, sure. Turns out this thing has a 4.7 out of 5 rating on Fragrantica with hundreds of reviews. I'm not one to trust Fragrantica, but with reviews like that, I was very excited to try this. And let me just tell you, this is an insanely accurate clone of Dior Intense. I'm talking opening to dry down, it is around 90% similar. Not to mention this only cost around 50 bucks. I understand Al Watanya, I don't know any other fragrances by them. I'm assuming they're not a huge clone brand in the fragrance community, but I just want you to take my word when I say this. This thing is actually stronger than Dior Homme Intense and it smells almost exactly the same. So if I had the choice to wear one of them on a night out, I'm picking this every single time. And I own the real Dior Homme Intense, but I genuinely think this is actually better than the real thing. At the number 8 spot is Orientica's Royal Amber. This is the most expensive clone on this list, I believe. It is over $100. I think it's around 150 AUD. And it is a clone of Xerjoff's Herbe Pure, but it takes all of the worst parts of Herbe Pure and improves on them while still leaving that creamy, fruity base that most people, know and love by now. It is also not quite as screechy and not quite as strong as Xerjoff Herbe Pure. You might be wondering, why would I want a fragrance less strong than the original? Then you clearly haven't tried Herbe Pure, because I love a strong fragrance, but in my opinion, Herbe Pure is just too strong to even function in society with a couple sprays. Whereas with Orientica's Royal Amber, you can do 3 or 4 sprays, know that you smell amazing, and it's also not as screechy as Herbe Pure. It's honestly a win-win. Yes, $100, $150 for a clone might sound expensive, but you are getting a gorgeous bottle design. I don't have the box anymore, but the entire presentation is beautiful. Orientica as well make many other fantastic clones. You can look them up online. Extremely high quality, reputable brand. So I think it's personally worth the money. I would give this like a 9 out of 10. And just like the Kayhaan Classic I just talked about, I would take this over Herba Pura. It is just that good. In at the number 9 spot, before you start hating on me in the comments when I show you this fragrance, you start laughing at me, you think I'm taking the piss, I'm not kidding. This is actually not a bad fragrance. It is Cristiano Ronaldo's CR7 Game On. The original CR7 cologne is a dupe of the original Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male, and a lot of people joke about this and talk about it in the fragrance community because, in my opinion, it's just not a great cologne. It smells around 50% similar. Yes, it is very cheap, but I'm not a fan of this one. However, Game On is a dupe of Stronger With You Intensely. Does this smell like Stronger With You Intensely? It actually kind of does, around 60% similar. And considering this thing costs around 30 Aussie dollars and probably like 20 USD, if you want a warm, sweet, spicy vanilla fragrance and you're a broke young dude, I can honestly confidently recommend this to you. Is it kind of weird that a fragrance from a famous football player is actually a good fragrance clone? Yes. Also, it kind of has a pressurized atomizer. For 20 bucks, that's pretty cool. It is a lot more fresh and kind of has a nutty almost element to it versus the Stronger With You Intensely that it is cloning, but that warm vanilla toffee base is still there. You can still pick it up. Anyone that is familiar with the Stronger With You DNA, if they smell this, they would go, I can tell that's not Stronger With You Intensely, but it also does kind of smell like it, if that makes sense. The final clone fragrance that should be illegal is one of the best citrus fragrances I have ever smelled. I'm not a big citrus guy. I prefer my warm, sweet vanilla fragrances, but this thing is really freaking good, and it is another Lattafah fragrance, and that is Qiam Silver. It is a dupe of Bulgari Tiger, apparently. I've never smelled Bulgari Tiger. In fact, I've never smelled any Bulgari fragrances. However, this as a standalone, not even knowing what that smells like, smells fantastic. The grapefruit note is very, very strong. It's a fantastic citrusy blend, perfect for the summer. I've been using this religiously for the gym, 2 to 3 sprays. I feel like I smell amazing. Haven't gotten a compliment yet, but I have been absolutely loving it, and it only costed me 50 Aussie dollars, which in my opinion is a steal, and it should be illegal. For a citrusy, fresh summer fragrance too, the performance is nothing to laugh at. It's around 6-7 hours longevity with moderate projection. And honestly, to me, it smells very similar to Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever because it has that very strong grapefruit note. If you're a fan of Light Blue Forever or even the entire Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue line, there's a very, very high chance you will enjoy this fragrance. That is going to wrap it up on the 10 clone fragrances that are so freaking good. They should be illegal. Go and pick them up before they get taken off the fragrance market for being so damn good. I hope you guys loved the video. Like, subscribe, tick the bell for notifications. It costs you nothing, but helps out the algorithm, helps me out a ton. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day.